Over the last 6 months, I filmed a few videos talking about the iPhone's new update to being able to connect over satellite so you can send text messages and whatnot. And that got me really excited. Problem is, I kind of messed up when talking about that stuff and saying I'm going to ditch my Garmin. You gotta rewind a little bit to know where I'm coming from when talking about the Garmin. So I was looking for an alternative to my Garmin inReach because I had an issue with it where it just completely lost connectivity when I was in the backcountry, and I wasn't able to reconnect it until I came back home and resynced it up to my laptop. It just wasn't connecting. And when you used to have a communication with someone who's back in service while you're out in the backcountry and you guys are communicating back and forth on what your plan is and how things are going, that's very critical that you don't have that fail on you. So when I realized that there's another option out there with using my iPhone as a communication device, I was extremely excited. But, well, to summarize it, it's just not working at all. And it is completely failed using an iPhone in the backcountry. Basically, more or less what's happened is, ever since I got the iPhone 16, I've been relying on that to send my text messages while I'm in the backcountry and I'm out of service. Problem is, the exact same thing happened to my iPhone that's happened to my Garmin, is that it lost complete connectivity. I'm going to discuss the issues I've had with my iPhone in the backcountry. There's 3 instances where it showed me that it's not a reliable thing to use, and honestly, it's false advertisement saying that it's satellite communication. So the first instance, which is the worst one, is that when I was on a hunting trip in the backcountry, I was communicating back and forth with my dad and girlfriend on what our plans were and how things were going each night, because we had very loose plans on where we were. We just knew we were going to be a certain region, and we were just kind of following along where different wildlife sign was. Every night I would connect and send them a Find My update and send them text messages and ask for a weather update in the region. Unfortunately, one night when I wanted to go connect, it seemed for some reason that my iPhone had signed out of its iCloud account or Apple account. Doesn't even deserve the respect of being called the right thing. So once it did that, I wasn't able to communicate back and forth with them, and they had no clue what my situation was, because we were still going to be back there for another 24 hours. That's very concerning for your people that you're communicating back and forth with. They need to know what's going on when you're consistently talking back and forth on plans and where you're at. And then for me to go cold turkey, it's just no. And especially if where there was an emergency, I need to contact SOS. I assume it wouldn't even work at that point, considering I couldn't even send a freaking Find My update. It essentially did the exact same things my Garmin did, and I had to go into service, update my phone, and resync everything, and then it was fine. After that, it was connecting again. Fast forward a month after that, I was far in the back country with my car, and I had gotten a flat tire. I was multiple hours back from service, so that's a long way by car to have a flat tire. I was trying to organize something with my girlfriend and my parents so I could have a replacement tire set up for me when I was able to limp my way back. Problem is, for some reason, my text messages weren't going to my girlfriend, but they were going to my parents. All of them have an iPhone 14 and been updated to the latest version, and I've been text messaging them on other trips while I haven't had service. But for this one instance, it just wasn't working when I was trying to communicate with Paige. That's completely unacceptable that it's gonna do that, you know? The fact that it's having all these connectivity issues, signing me out of my iCloud account, not connected. And I had another trip too. I was going on a day hike with my pack raft, and I was trying to communicate back and forth with everyone, letting them know that I was about to head into the water and send my update where I was. But the problem is, just being in a basic tree tunnel with a visible view of the sky, it wasn't able to connect whatsoever. I had to find somewhere. I basically had to go into a power line opening where there's going to be no trees around, and then I was able to connect at that point. But if there's just a basic tree tunnel, it will not connect whatsoever. I believe I tried for like 45 minutes or so trying to connect while actively hiking down this long straight trail. I couldn't get anything. At least with Garmin, my past experience, it will eventually send even when you're in thick tree coverage. The problem is the iPhone, as you're walking along, you're spinning around trying to find signal with it to get the best reception because its antenna isn't good enough. It feels like a very unrefined version that they released to the public, that they should have cautioned people with this, saying like, at least announce that this has a beta program, not a final version of it, that this is how you text with people with an iPhone. I think I'm gonna have to go back to the Garmin and fork over the cash and go for a new Garmin now, especially some of the trips I've coming up this year. My iPhone's just not reliable enough. And don't even get me started when you have like just one bar of service. It won't connect to satellite in that instance, but you're not able to send text messages back and forth in that weird gray zone. There's no override feature with it. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm kind of frustrated by the iPhone situation, and I apologize for the video released a few months ago saying I was gonna drop it. I was very excited, and I was very disappointed with my inReach, how it lost connection, so I was looking for an alternative, as I've mentioned. Garmin seems to have a new inReach version, a Messenger Plus, where you're able to send photos, and I'll probably look into get something like that. It seems to read online, it has a new version of connectivity, so it's a little bit faster and stronger connection. Probably end up going for that one. Fork up the $700 or whatever for it. It is what it is. Satellite communications become the standard one in the backcountry these days. It's just how people are able to rely on each other, and with modern services, how you're able to text back and forth. It's it's become the standard. For most people, Garmin has become the gold standard for it. I was really hoping Apple's gonna replace it with the new satellite feature, but yeah, nope, it's not it.